We are now ready to add some code to present our email sign-in page. Now, the code that we're about to add uses a new widget that we haven't encountered before, and this widget is called the navigator. So what I'm going to do now is to type in some code to present our sign-in page, and then I'm going to explain it. So here it goes. We can type in navigator.of and then context within brackets, and then .push. And in here, I'm going to say material page route of type void. And then in brackets, full screen dialog is true. And then builder, which takes one parameter, which is a context, and needs to return a widget called email sign-in page. We need to import email sign-in page like this, and this is what we need to type in. Okay, so now that we have added this code, let's verify if it works. So I can tap on sign in with email, and I can see that the email sign-in page is presented, and I can dismiss it by pressing on the X button down here. Okay, now that we have seen that this works, it is time to explain this code that I've just entered. So first of all, we are using a widget which is called a navigator. And navigator is what we need to use to perform navigation in Flutter. So let's see how this works with a diagram. And the way navigation works in Flutter is by using a navigation stack. So what is a stack? A stack is a data structure that has two main operations: push and pop. And when we create a Flutter application with Material app, then a navigator widget is created for us, and the navigator's stack contains just one widget, and this is the home of our Material app. Once we have this, what we can do is to push a new route, for example called route number 2, and specify what widget we want to add. And if we want, we could push another route on top of this called route number 3, and this would be added on top of the stack. At some point, we might decide that we want to go back to our previous route, and to do that, we need to call a method called pop. So what happens when we call pop is that the route number 3 is going to be removed from the stack, and we are back to route number 2. And if we wanted, we could call pop again, and this will take us back to the route number 1. So this is how a stack works. And let's get back to Android Studio. If you remember, a second ago I said that Material app creates a navigator widget for us, and the way we get access to the navigator of our Material app is by calling navigator of context, as I've done over here. So what this command does is to start from the current widget, which is our sign-in page, and then it tries to find an ancestor widget of type navigator. And in order to do that, we need to pass in our build context. Once we have a navigator, we call the push method, and we need to specify a new route. So to do that, we can create a Material page route, and then in the builder argument, we return an instance of the widget that we want to show, which is email sign-in page. Finally, we have one more parameter called full screen dialog, and we can use this to specify how our page is presented. So this parameter has a default value of false, and just to show you what happens if I comment out this parameter, I can hot reload, and if I press on the sign in with email button, you can see that on iOS the page slides in from the right, and if I press on this button, it slides back out. So when full screen dialog is missing or set to false, then the destination screen slides in from the right. And if we set this to true, then the destination screen slides in from the bottom, like this. And just for the record, this is a navigation behavior that is specific to iOS, while on Android, navigation always takes place from the bottom. Alright, so we have now seen how to perform basic navigation in Flutter, and navigation is quite a broad subject. So in this video, I just wanted to give you a basic understanding of how we can push and pop new routes in our Flutter application so that we can proceed to our email sign-in page. But Just so you know, we will cover navigation more in depth later on in this course. So don't worry if some of this code is not entirely clear at this stage. All we need to know for now is that we can get our application's navigator by calling navigator of context, and that we can push new routes in our navigation stack with this syntax. Okay, so let's continue on the next video.